Welcome back to the 128KB podcast. We are back once again.
Due to lack of popular demand.
Yes, and if we seem a bit slower, it's because we've just had lunch and everyone's in a bit of a food coma.
And I've had about 9 coffees and it's doing the reverse effect where it's making me want to go to sleep.
Do you know what? I find caffeine does that to me until really late at night.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, you can't sleep.
I drink them all in the morning, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then at like midnight, I'm wired.
Why is that?
Don't know. I know caffeine has a half-life.
Oh, Half-Life, man.
What a game.
I miss Half-Life, you know.
I know.
I know everyone talks about it. Everyone talks about
Half-Life 3. When?
Stellar Blade, PC.
When?
When will we see Stellar Blade on PC?
Don't know.
What's your bet?
Oh, next year now. We're not going to. It would be really wise for them to do it before Christmas.
Yeah, it'd be huge.
But I don't think they will because of maybe because they've just done the PS5 Pro updates. Yeah. Which would obviously carry through to the PC. I bet what they've done is taken all the work they were doing on the PC side and just pushed it to the PS5 Pro side.
It's not a PlayStation Studio game though, is it?
No.
So it is just a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
So it'd beg the question, who's going to do the PC porting?
Themselves, I think.
Do you think it would be? They wouldn't hand it over to Nixie's.
If they did, then it was a massive win.
What is it called?
Nix's?
President.
Yeah, Predator Nixon.
President Nickon. This is your weekly dose of all things gaming. We're here to keep you up to date and to talk about the big topics of the week.
And our fever dream ramblings after eating and drinking too much.
This is really a window into our weird, warped minds, actually, this podcast.
Indeed.
And President Nickton.
I
was going to say that.
One of the others.
We should add that to the 128KB bingo card.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that. Oh.
So if you're thinking just to round off the Stellar Blade thing.
Yes.
Maybe early next year.
When did it release? It was September, wasn't it?
No.
Was it before that?
Yeah, it was like March or something, wasn't it?
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, I swear it was like ages ago.
I don't believe you, Andy.
I don't know. I'm making stuff up. I'm making stuff up.
When
I feel like I've been waiting that long.
Stellar Blade get launched. Stellar Blade launch.
PC when?
Date. PC when? Do you know, I hate you.
When was it?
April.
Hey!
26th of April.
So it was after when I said.
I didn't realise it was that long ago. That's kind of mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it?
The other thing that really blew my mind, talking of dates, is we've just recorded a video. I'm not sure if it's out yet. It might be out this week.
Yeah.
6 months with the Ally X.
Yes, it'll be this week, yeah.
It's not technically 6 months yet. It's like 5.5 months.
Yeah. Well, by the time this goes out, probably.
But we got the pre-release edition at the start of June.
Yeah, mad, isn't it?
That's insane.
It's gone quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a 6 months it's been.
It has been, yeah.
I know that's not what we're talking about in today's episode.
It's not, but we're talking about it now.
It's kind of fitting. You're talking about it now.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yes.
It's been I would say it's been a generational change moment.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's fantastic.
It definitely feels like it's the first. I get so much hate for saying this.
Uh-oh.
It's the first kind of like legitimate handheld that makes all gaming make sense handheld.
I totally agree. I do agree.
Oh, that's a first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. No, I do agree though, because it's actually capable of playing AAA games.
Yeah.
As well as anything before that.
Yeah.
You know, everything else struggled. Steam Deck was phenomenal and is phenomenal. It's still a brilliant machine, but it struggles on AAA games, you know. And obviously then you're looking at like Switch and stuff. That's totally different league. But yeah, I'd agree with you. And that's why I jumped onto this so quickly, because I was like, wow, what it can do is phenomenal, you know.
It's mental. A couple of weeks ago, we had the financial reporting from the Nintendo president.
Oh, wow.
It was on November the 5th that happened.
Yes.
It's the same day as the US elections.
Yeah.
Presidential statements.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
I remembered it. And it was kind of mind-blowing. Obviously, that they made some big announcements about the Switch 2, which was kind of surprising that they talked about it at all. But firstly, I wanted to kind of touch on like how mad the numbers are.
Yes.
The numbers
Yes.
for the Switch.
Insane.
We talk about the Ally X being a generational moment in changing, but all of us, even like people that love PC handhelds, love Steam Deck, we all have to like take our hat off to the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, it's because of Switch, yeah.
This is all because of the
Yes,
Switch.
absolutely. Hands down.
Up to the end of September 2024, 146 million units have sold.
146 million.
The bit that really blew me away was actually quite a few bits, but the one bit that really stood out, I kind of expected a lot of those 146 million would be people that buy it and then actually tailor off, don't use it.
Yep.
I would say I'm guilty. I don't think I've switched mine on in well over a year to play.
What have you not done?
Switched mine on.
Switched on.
Oh, I didn't even think I'd done that. Oh, well done.
I haven't played mine in a while, I'd admit.
So, active accounts, and they count an active account as someone who has played the Switch at least once in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So has played a game on it.
Mm-hmm.
127 million active accounts.
That's only 20 million that haven't
well,
played.
19.
Well, yeah, 19. Wow.
Quick maths.
Numbers.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're good at this. We passed at school.
Yeah. But that's incredible, isn't it?
127 million active accounts.
I was expecting 80 million.
Yeah.
You know, the other half to be dead.
Totally
you know,
agree.
just don't use it.
That number is kind of mind blowing, and it shows that that if the games are right and the gameplay experience is right, the hardware actually doesn't matter.
No.
Whether we like it or not, we all love chasing the bleeding edge. We all love talking about this is what's now capable with PC handhelds.
Yeah, well, this is again that, like you said, that generational change.
Yeah.
You're not just playing your Nintendo games or like some retro games or games from 10 years ago. You're playing modern day titles. And like, I know we're joking and stuff about Stellar Blade, but I legit can't wait to see if this can run it, which I'm sure it will.
It'll definitely run it.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool to see that game.
Yes.
High frame rates.
Yeah.
Handheld.
Yeah.
It's a game that feels like a modern game made for handheld because it's fast, it's action.
Yeah, and it's quite linear. Like, you know, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. And with all those upgrades and like with them implementing the PSSR stuff, I'm sure that means that they'll put more like upscaling features in there.
Yeah.
And especially if, like you said, if they handed it over to Nix's, you'd see like AMD FSR 3 and maybe some frame gen thrown in there.
Yeah.
Like all the modern games seem to be getting that, especially if it's from PlayStation side because Nix's are in control. And that is ultimately helping these handhelds even more. Yeah. You know, with this upscaling tech. It's amazing.
It's incredible. More on the Switch though.
Yes.
1.3 billion software sales.
Incredible. Isn't it?
The numbers don't even make sense.
3 billion.
That whatever.
That's sales. That's not even just like rubbish free games, you know.
That's real. Some of the notable titles, Pokemon titles have sold 99 million units.
Of course they have. Yeah.
I think the two standout Zelda games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, had 53 million.
Makes sense,
something like that, 50 odd million. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you know, that great Wii U game.
Oh, the one that's not actually made for Switch.
64 million sold on Switch.
Yeah, that's mad.
I mean, it's a great game. The fact that it's a Wii U game is insane.
Yes.
The fact that we won't see a Mario Kart game released for the Switch that's made for that platform, that's pretty mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. But we don't know what Switch 2 is yet, you know, so it could just be a continuation of the same generation. Now, so they might argue that the next Mario Kart was made for the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to kind of try and translate the inferred meaning of the things that were said about the Switch successor in this statement, I think you'd be right. They talked about why they believe the Switch was so successful. One was that it brought they understand the importance of hybrid gaming.
Yes.
They fully understand the importance of having a handheld experience and it also being in your home. That it was the first Nintendo generation that didn't have two options, handheld and a console, and they brought it together.
That's what made it win.
Absolutely what made it win. It made it easier for developers to make great games just for one system rather than having to have two. So that they acknowledge all these things as reasons for it to be successful. So stands to reason that the Switch 2 will be a continuation of that. They also acknowledge that things like having your Nintendo account follow you through generations is really important. And before, that wasn't the case.
No,
It was
there's always a new one and then a new one and then a new one.
So like things like your play history, any like trophy systems and rewards that you've got, your purchase history following you through. So you're like, okay, so eShop purchases and the like, and add-ons, DLCs, any cosmetics that you've bought, they'll follow you through. Nintendo Switch Online was confirmed as to carry on.
As we suspected, because they already built that background library of retro stuff.
Yeah.
We always said, well, they're going to add like GameCube and all this kind of stuff on top of that. They're not going to start again.
There's over 30 million active Nintendo Switch Online subscribers as well.
Wow.
Which is, when you compare to the amount of users, isn't that much. It's what's that, like 25%?
There's not really anything there.
But that's what they said. That number has reduced significantly from previous years.
Yes.
Because they've not released it. And that's what they said, because there hasn't been good new releases on there.
Yeah, I haven't renewed my account in a long time.
There's no point to it. Unless you want to play Nintendo games that are old. I don't know what you're getting out of it.
It's not really anything I want to play on there.
I think the huge announcement, and it's old news now, I talked about it in the news channel, is that the Nintendo Switch successor will be fully backwards compatible with Nintendo Switch games.
As we expected.
And I think
we said it here first. We did.
We did say it here first. We also said that it was confirmed by a certain hardware manufacturer in China who makes accessories for the Nintendo Switch and shares some factories with Nintendo accessories, that Nintendo hardware will also be backwardsly compatible. So Joy-Cons will be able to be used, probably not on the Switch itself.
No, but some way, maybe.
They'll still be able to connect.
Yes. And they might have like an adapter that you can use.
Yeah, well, I think like Mobipad, who's obviously who I'm talking about, make awesome Joy-Cons and Joy-Con alternatives and awesome controllers. The Mobipad, I can't even think what it's called.
M6HDs.
M6HDs. Thank you very much. The really great Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
They've released a centerpiece for them.
Yes, which we're still waiting for.
They're meant to be sending it. They were meant to be sending it weeks ago, but it's not come yet. I need to ask them again to send that out.
And the P1 controller.
Yes. That will be able to connect. Obviously, the centerpiece means you can continue using a Joy-Con.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So all of this kind of inference together makes me feel like you're absolutely right in the sense that the Switch will continue to exist.
Yes. Yeah.
Alongside the Switch successor.
Yes. That's why Nintendo even released that centerpiece for the Joy-Cons with the USB.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, well, no, you can use your old ones on the new one because of this random bit of hardware released like 10 years later. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course that is the case. And that's, I think, again, a really smart move.
Yeah.
It feels like a gentle transition into a next generation rather than a hard stop. I will say I feel a bit hypocritical saying that because I was very critical to the PlayStation for their lack of abandoning
yes
PS4. And Xbox as well, they're also guilty of it to a certain degree.
Yes, but I mean with the PlayStation it's slightly different because we see that as being like raw horsepower. Do you know what I mean? I know it's, let's take PC out of it because that just PC Master Race. PC won. But you see PlayStation and Xbox and you see, the console versions of PCs, and you expect like, the next thing, and then the old one gets chopped off at the block.
Yeah.
But that's just not been the case. So I don't think you've been overly harsh about that. But then at the same time, PS4 had so much player base. Obviously, we see why PlayStation want to keep them sticking around and buying more software. Because that's all it's there for, isn't it? It's to get more sales.
I think there's only 65 or 60 million PS5s that have been sold, which is a huge number.
Yes, yeah.
But we are 4 years in now.
4, yeah.
I kind of expected it to be higher than that for some reason.
I did as well. Yeah, I don't know why, but I did.
Yeah, so obviously there's still a large amount of people that are still in PS4 land. So you're right. They do want to keep serving them. And this kind of soft transitions and generations coexisting, I just kind of think that's how the future of console generations will be now.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more like phones.
Yeah, and there's incremental upgrades. Yeah, I mean, that might be the case. I mean, it does have me worried a little bit about the Switch.
Yeah.
Because if they're only going to be making one game for both consoles, how's that going to work? Do you know what I mean?
Well, you just hope that they do that thing. I'm trying to think if they did it before when the DS's when they had like you could play certain 2DS games, and then there's the new. I get confused with what they were all called.
I like this. Keep going. Yeah.
Don't let me stay in this hole. You're supposed to be here to dig me out.
So you had the new 3DS.
Yes.
Which is the stupidest naming. If this is called the new Switch,
It's going to be, man.
I'm going to be really peeved.
I promise you the name's going to be way stupider than we all believe.
I'm going to be pissed right off.
We're all like really hopeful that they're going to be doing stuff that's really cool. And we're all really hopeful that it's going to be this super hardcore piece of hardware. I just want everyone to temper their expectations and realize we're talking about Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's going to be underpowered. People are going to be underwhelmed and they're going to be complaining about it.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
It's going to have a stupid name.
Yes.
It will 100% have some kind of stupid gimmick that we're not expecting.
Maybe, yes.
Like we had with the IR thing,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
motion controls. There's
Yes.
going to be something you're like, why have they done that?
Yes.
But only Nintendo know why.
Yes. Yeah.
And it will probably be quite cool
Yeah.
in the long run.
Yeah.
Or get just unimplemented in any game ever, like the IR thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fact.
And I think I would not be surprised if they called it the new Nintendo Switch. I wouldn't be surprised
they
at all.
can't do that again because that's so frustrating.
Yes, it is.
Especially in the used market. Right, I'd like a second-hand new 3DS.
Have you got a pre-owned new Switch, please?
Yeah, what? But yeah, what gets me is, are they going to do... Because when the new 3DS came out,
Yes.
that could play all the previous titles.
Yes.
But there was games that only were available on the new 3DS.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I fully believe that it will be able to accept and play the carts from the Switch or your digital downloads.
Yes.
And the new Nintendo Switch games, but backwardsly it wouldn't work, as it were. So like new Nintendo Switch games wouldn't work on the old Switch.
My problem here lies with this is Xbox Series S and X problem.
100%.
You've got two systems now.
Yeah.
You've got the older, like, the real old brother. And then you've got the new one.
When the new 3DS was launched, did they continue support for the 3DS?
Yeah.
Did they continue selling it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to do the same.
Yeah, and they made about 4 games that was only available on the new 3DS.
Oh, don't say that. That'd be bad.
And then the Switch came out. I'm not even joking. They literally made
It
about
won't
4
be that.
games.
It won't be as bad as that, but yeah, there'll definitely be a crossover that will introduce friction in the market.
Yeah, that's my only issue. Is I hope that they develop all new games with the new one in mind, and then just dumb it down after for the old one.
There's also the like damned if you do and damned if you don't, because there's so many people and it's so much kind of anticipation of this thing.
Yeah.
How much uproar would there be if they just cold pulled the plug on the Switch?
Yeah.
At launch,
Yeah.
That's it. No more Nintendo Switch. No more support for it. No more updates. No more firmware.
They won't do that.
No. But like there would be like genuine uproar.
There would be uproar. Yeah, because there's 150 million people with it. But yeah, I want the new one to be as good as it can be. Do you know what I mean? I don't want them having to feel like they've got a handicapped version that they have to support when they should be pouring out like the best they can be.
I was recently watching the Nintendo podcast.
Yeah.
I was trying to ask them some questions, but they wouldn't answer me.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'll ask you instead.
Okay.
As the second most influential Nintendo YouTuber I know.
Even though I haven't done a Nintendo video in like a year.
Well over a year.
Well,
there's the odd MobaPad stuff in there.
Yeah,
controllers and things.
Yeah, controllers and stuff, but not actually like dedicated Nintendo.
No.
That's their fault for not releasing the Switch too.
To be fair, let's address that quickly. It's been way longer than that. I would say you'd been on a journey away from it since the Steam Deck launched.
So
since the OLED launched, at least. Steam Deck OLED.
Well, even the Steam Deck LCD after the first year, because I had the...
You did have the LCD for a minute, didn't you?
Yeah, I had that for a year, or almost a full year, before I jumped onto the OLED. And then now we're down the...
We'd always kind of set out... I might be changing history here, but we'd always kind of set out the 128 KB channel primarily about handheld gaming.
Yeah.
So anything that kind of fits into that wheelhouse works.
And at the time, it was just the Switch.
Yeah.
And then it kind of morphed
as
other stuff came out. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm going to ask you the question now. Okay.
Yes.
What third-party games are you most excited to see on the Switch 2?
Stellar Blade.
Great shout. I don't think it would happen
No.
because of Bayonetta.
True. That was a joke, but it would be cool. What third-party games am I most excited to see? Oh, Call of Duty. It's coming.
Yeah, okay.
It's complete parity.
Yes.
Yeah. So Call of Duty's coming. So that would be awesome to see because we missed all Call of Duty on the Switch, the original Switch. So having an easily accessible, portable, handheld device that you can play current gen Call of Duty will be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Other third-party titles, I mean, there's no stopping GTA 6 coming out on it if it's powerful enough.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Like,
I'd love to see it.
There's other GTA games on Switch.
I know. What, the definitive edition?
Yes.
The potato edition?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but look at Nintendo history. There's always been GTA.
Yes.
You know, so if this is actually viable, then it's a potential. It's not going to say it's going to happen at day one or anything.
I think there's
There's a
potential that
potential.
you could see it as a cloud game.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think you could. I can't imagine it playing natively.
It really depends. It really depends because we know it's NVIDIA. It's going to have upscaling.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. It's the only console that will be NVIDIA based at the time.
Yeah. So there's a potential. There's a very low chance it is, but there is potential there. Other third party stuff, I don't really know. I mean, we've already got Red Dead on there. Maybe Red Dead 2 port.
Red Dead 2 port would be amazing.
You know,
that would be cool.
That would be possible. I don't know of other third parties. Really? I'd be surprised to see what else comes from Xbox because they've tested the waters, haven't they, with putting other Xbox titles across PlayStation and Switch.
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to see Call of Duty. It'd be interesting to see. Well, we know Indiana Jones is coming to PlayStation 5. So
would we see that coming to Switch?
Maybe, potentially.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
I guess a large amount of it depends on what the hardware is actually capable of.
Yes.
Because don't be shocked if it is underwhelming in the numbers stakes.
100%. It's not going to be an ally.
No.
It's not going to be anywhere near that.
Yes, a lot of it depends on the hardware. And then a lot of it also depends on how willing Nintendo are to opening the door. I think for the largest part, the success of the Switch is based off of the great Nintendo games and the third party, like in the Nintendo stables, rather than the kind of Xbox and PlayStation titles coming over.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But I do think we'll see more of that crossover.
I'm not going to shock you.
Yeah.
In what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Okay. Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean,
of course.
Yeah. Remake, Rebirth.
Yeah, it would be possible.
16, maybe.
Yes.
I mean, 16 is as technically advanced as Rebirth, to be fair. They're kind of very very similar looking and playing. If that's technically possible. I mean, Remake for certain will be technically possible.
Yeah.
Because that was a PS4 game.
Yes.
Rebirth, well, I mean, it looks like a potato on the PS5, so it's going to be...
It's already ready for the Switch. Maybe they put out the wrong one. They put out the Switch 2 version by accident.
That was it.
And they thought, instead of
fixing
owning it, our mistake, we'll just release a PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
Like another console that can then run it.
I think the Final Fantasy games will be intriguing, and it's intriguing to see what happens with that kind of Squaresoft relationship, because obviously they've now moved away from PlayStation exclusivity, and I've said it numerous times, but their traditional home is Nintendo.
Yes,
feels right.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's just kind of generally exciting. And when the final part for the Final Fantasy VII Saga is released,
3,
will it be launched on Switch as well?
Potentially, yes.
I mean, and how cool could that be?
That's the thing, and that's why I'm skeptical with the original running alongside it.
Yeah,
because it's 10 years old nearly.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I'm with you.
By the time the Switch 2 comes out, the APU in the Switch is 10 years old.
Yes.
So it's not going to be able to keep up in any sense.
No way.
Any way at all. Like, I'm hoping none of the games that come out to Switch 2 are available on Switch 1.
I fully believe that will be the case. I don't think anything will be released on Switch
Backwards.
and Switch 2.
Okay, fine. I thought that's the trajectory we were kind of like going down there.
No,
like,
I don't think that'll happen.
Right, good. Yeah, I hope that's the case.
It'll
so that
be
they
a
don't
3DS situation.
Yes.
That's kind of why I was going down that route.
Right, I've got you. I was thinking that maybe they would try and do like potato
watered-down
ports.
versions.
Yeah, literally for the old system. No, okay, that makes sense. So the Switch 2 is fully backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Because they've just said that. So that's brilliant. So what they were saying is, don't forget to buy our games over Christmas, guys,
Well,
because
there's some games that scheduled for release next year. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Prime 4, Metroid Prime 4 is slated for 2025, and they haven't actually changed that. It's still slated to come for Switch in 2025. If those games in particular, let's think about, they were like quite demanding graphically games. I mean, we've not seen anything from Prime 4, so I'm guessing it's going to be.
It will be. Yeah.
The Prime remasters are pretty a technical marvel for the Switch in themselves, so the new ones are going to be better again.
Yeah.
But Xenoblade X, why buy them on the Switch?
This is my problem, and this is where I'm kind of thinking is, if they are for the base Switch and not for the Switch 2, then you've got to run them in backwards compatibility mode on the Switch 2. I don't want that.
No.
I want it even better again on the Switch 2. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want them to dual release.
Do you think we could see something as crazy as Nintendo implementing a performance graphic toggle?
Oh, maybe.
That would be a huge leap for them.
Fidelity and performance.
Yeah. For some of those games that are that have straddled this period.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's Nvidia. Maybe there'll be a ray tracing on mode.
I would love that ray tracing performs best on the Switch too.
That would be amazing. Can you imagine Metroid Prime 4 with ray tracing on?
Yeah.
It'd be insane.
It would be amazing.
It'd be incredible. Handheld. Mad.
Yeah. Crispy. I don't even think it's going to be OLED.
No, it's LCD.
LCD.
Yeah, it'll be an 8-inch LCD, I reckon.
Yeah. With all the tasty things that you can do with LCD monitors as opposed to OLED ones.
Yeah.
Because it's going to rely on hardware or software, upscaling, frame gen, variable frame rating. It's going to rely on all of those.
Any of that. I don't think they're going to specify any of it.
Totally agree.
We've said this in the previous podcast, calling it like ultra smooth.
Yeah,
or something.
Nintendo Super Smooth.
Yeah, that's it. Super smooth. Yeah, super smooth.
Yeah, but I mean, PlayStation have done it. Pisser. Oh, we all know what's going on there.
Yeah,
but yeah, they'll come up with their own little janky things for it.
Yeah, but I think it would be. I don't know. I'm super excited. I'm obviously going to buy one.
Of course you are.
Yeah. Because I love Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And I want to play this. I've been waiting forever for Prime Metroid, and I never properly played Xenoblade Chronicles X. I've got it. I've still
really
got
want
it.
to play it.
I've started it, but I never sank like hundreds of hours into it. So I waiting for the Switch version, brilliant. But I want them to release alongside the Switch 2 with an even better mode for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there is a potato mode for the Switch,
and
then a better copy for the Switch 2. The fact that all my freaking wall of Switch games is going to be backwards compatible is great.
It's amazing.
I'm really happy about that. Even if they don't change in any way, even if you just plug it in, it still plays like the original Switch mode. If it plugs in and then has a boost in like clock speeds and stuff and then runs all the games at a higher FPS, then that's even better.
Yeah.
But I don't care if not.
Yeah.
I just want to see the new system pushed to its potential and not be held back by this 10-year-old system.
When do you? So obviously the announcement is going to be before the end of March. We know that was part of the presentation. It was just a reconfirmation from the Nintendo president. This financial year, which means before March 31st. When do you think it'll actually land?
What, the announcement?
So we know the announcement's going to be before March.
Yes.
So likelihood is it's going to be kind of February time.
I was going to say February or March.
Yeah. But when do you think the actual sales will land in shops? When do you think we'll start to see how much? Do you think it'll be that soon after?
Yeah, because I think it was meant to be announced before.
I think it was as well.
And it's been delayed.
Yep.
And then it's going to be announced February, March.
Yep.
And then I reckon they're going to want to slam it out pretty soon. So 3 months later.
It gives the market enough time to get releases out ready. So there's a decent library of games coming up for Christmas.
Yes, exactly.
Because the biggest criticism, even like producer Pete we were talking to at lunchtime, and he was like, the biggest problem the PlayStation 5 had didn't have any like massive heavy hitter titles at launch. And you go, yeah, it didn't. When I think back to the PS4, I hate to say it, I know GTA 5 came out slightly before the PS4 came out, like a year before, 6 months before.
Yeah.
But it had that at launch.
Yes.
It had this huge title. 2025 for Nintendo there's a lot of games slated to be coming out.
And there's so many things they could have up their sleeve.
Yes.
They could have F-Zero GX, like
a new Mario
or
Kart.
a new one, or a new Star Fox, or any of these things. New Mario Kart, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely happening.
Pokemon Z and A, isn't there?
Yeah, which is apparently a Switch game, but who knows?
Yep.
That could even just turn out to be for the new Switch. Same with Prime.
Could be.
They could just go, nah, sorry, it's on the new one.
So it's like, we know, of the games we know of, there's some huge titles that are coming, and there's almost certainly some up that are hidden up their sleeve.
Yes.
So 2025 is going to be a massive year for Nintendo.
It's going to be huge, yeah.
So I think you're right. If they drop it quite quickly, like start of the summertime, then they've got all of that run up to Christmas, which is obviously when they're going to be hoping to get a lot of people over to the new Nintendo Switch.
Well, let's look at the OLED. That announced either on or just after my birthday.
So July.
Early July.
I know his birth date.
Oh.
Well, I'm not going to say it on film.
Oh, no. So early July. 4th. May the 4th.
Yes.
Yes. May the 4th in July.
Yes.
So they announced it around then.
Yeah.
And then it released in October.
Yeah, it was.
So what's that, 3 months?
Yeah.
So I reckon if they announce it in February, March, I reckon June, July,
we'll have it.
We'll have it. Give us enough time to build hype, to promote it, to get marketing out, to spam the side of buildings and TVs and God knows what, and also give the devs the last hurrah to get stuff polished.
Yeah.
Or ready to release, so there's a good lineup, because it needs a big lineup, and it will. It's Nintendo. They're going to be ready this time round, I think.
Do you think
1-2 Switch? Sorry.
What other titles do you think we're likely to see that are like hidden up their sleeves?
It's hard because all I think of is what I want to see.
And that's cool as well. I'm trying to think of like slightly obscure things. Do you think we'll see a new Bayonetta soon?
I don't know about
Bayonetta
soon.
3 was 2021, I believe.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Maybe 22.
Okay, then it's possible. 3 years, yeah, maybe. I mean,
the thing is with some of these games,
between 2 and 3, there was
I
like
don't
10
know
years.
how popular, like commercially, I've not looked at the numbers.
I don't think they're like mega sellers.
Because the other one was like, will we see another 2D Metroid?
Oh, so good.
But it wasn't very popular.
I know.
Such a good game.
I know. It's the same with Prince of Persia. Lost Crown.
And you know,
Ubisoft's biggest win yet, their biggest loss.
I think it's their biggest game, their best game in,
It is.
I don't know, I want to say at least 5 years, easily.
Probably the past 15.
It could be. And I implore anyone who's not even just looked at it to actually give it a go, because it's so much fun.
It's amazing.
But I do acknowledge that I do love like 2D, 2.5D,
I do.
and I do love
Yeah.
Metroidvanias.
Yep.
There's something cool about them.
Yep.
The mechanics, the depth of exploration, but the ease of it as well. There's something there.
Yeah, the Prince of Persia one, they nailed it because they made it accessible.
Yeah.
It's not Metroid hard.
Yeah.
You know, like it can be if you want it to be, but they also put little helpers in there.
But when
it's great.
On the news channel a couple of weeks ago, when I talked about Ubisoft had broken up the Prince of Persia Lost Crown team.
Yeah.
And had denied them the opportunity to work on added content or even a sequel.
Yes.
Because it wasn't successful enough. And I've seen in the comments from the clips on that or the actual video itself, just general kind of dislike for that game. Like it was a massive failure. No one wanted it.
Yeah.
It's Big L.
Yeah, they've never played it.
They've obviously never played it.
Everyone that's played it has genuinely loved it.
Yeah. So 2D games have a problem.
Yes, but not on Switch. Like, it's not on Nintendo.
Switch. But I mean, what were the sales figures for Metroid
Dread?
Do you know?
4 million. It's not very
3 or
many.
4 million. And for Nintendo Land, as we know, with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe selling 64 million.
Mario Wonder's 2D platformer.
It is, and it's a beautiful game.
It's incredible.
But Mario, in the Nintendo presentation, the president himself said that the Mario titles are just still the best franchises.
Yeah,
more than Pokemon.
But it's funny that people can love like a 2D Mario, but then say something like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown's rubbish.
I know.
When theoretically, you probably get more out of that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God, I was just sorry. I wasn't being rude. I was googling what the Metroid Dread sales numbers were. 3 million copies.
That was the last time.
That was July 23.
Yeah, I was going to say that was their last time that they reported on it, and that was too. Well,
the thing is, though, 3 million copies of Dread
is incredible for the series.
It's incredible for the series. I can't imagine the production costs of that game were crazy high.
Yeah.
And it was a full price Nintendo game, wasn't it? So what was it, 50, 60 pounds?
Yeah. Was it full price? Yeah, it probably was. 50 quid at the time, probably.
Yeah, 50 quid, let's say.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a return.
I think it's done really...
They wouldn't have spent $100 million making that game.
No, I can't imagine so. And it's this franchise that the last game came out 20 years prior.
Yeah.
So it's, I think it's kind of a big... It's done well to revive a series
that's been dead for so long.
That's been dead for so long.
Yeah, very
most
true.
people probably wouldn't even want to jump into because it's like, well, I need to play the first ones first. Do you know what I mean?
I would love to see a new 2D Metroid. I'd love to see like another addition into the Metroidvanias.
I'd love that. I want Prime 4 to be a massive success, so that becomes a more regular thing.
Yes.
So that we get one every 3 or 4 years instead of every 20. Because
just a general expansion in the Metroid IP.
Yeah, and even try different games if you want. Do you know what I mean? Make whole new genres of games out of it if you can.
Kind of where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like just a general expansion of that, like more. I think like Samus's character's iconic enough, and they're like the kind of the villains that are mainstays in the games. They're all iconic characters that you could really use really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a slightly more adult Nintendo audience.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Because it is. It's based on the Alien movies. Like literally, that's where they got their influence. Was Aliens.
It shows.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, you've got iconic characters. Samus everyone knows the big like robot suit, even if they think she's a man.
And it's not to be too 2024 about it, but it's actually quite fitting of like modern times to have a hardcore female-led story.
Yeah.
That's
she's badass. Yeah.
She's badass. Yeah. That's it was also quite cool. Yeah, I'd love to see an expansion of that. I'd quite like to see, talking of badass females, another Bayonetta would be quite cool.
Oh yeah. Bayonetta 4 would be amazing on Switch 2. I think that would be so good because Bayonetta 3 is phenomenal.
Yeah,
like so well done. And you look at that even today and think, how did they get that running so good on... Do you know what I mean? It looks fantastic to me. I know it's very linear again, those kind of games, but there's big scenes where you turn into freaking massive demons and like Godzilla fight it out.
The Godzilla fight is so cool.
And it runs great. It looks fantastic. Yeah. So they really squeezed that, And again, that was another series that hadn't had entry for 20 years or whatever, or 10 years at least. So
I'm trying to think. Was it Bayonetta 1?
Yep.
They launched it on PS3, didn't they?
Yes.
We played it together.
We did, yeah.
It just reminded me.
Yes, it was. Was
it PS3?
Yeah, I want to say PS3.
I can't see it anywhere.
No, and then no, I can't see it anywhere on your shelf either. No, not twigging it. Nope, not seeing it.
Oh well.
But Bayonetta 2 then came out not like massively long after.
No.
And then there was like silence.
Yeah.
Like for ages. And then, or was it? Am I getting confused? Was it Bayonetta 1, but the gap between 1 and 2 was massive? I can't remember. It was either there was a huge gap between 1 and 2, and then between 2 and 3 came pretty quickly, or there was a big gap between 2 and 3. I don't remember.
No, my introduction was Bayonetta 3 into the franchise in total.
You mean 2? Was it?
No, Bayonetta 3 was my first. I I saw Bayonetta 3 and
Yeah.
then played Bayonetta 1 with you because you're like, you should play these through if you like that.
Yes.
So yeah, my history with it's very limited. But then I know that Bayonettas aren't like an out-and-out Nintendo thing.
No.
And they weren't exclusive. Obviously back then there was like time exclusivity or whatever.
Yeah, Sega.
Yeah,
Sega.
but my experience in Nintendo IPs in general was quite limited. I didn't stray too far away from Sega and then PlayStation.
Yeah.
As told by this hideous amount of games behind me. So there's something has been quite exciting about the Switch generation for me, which is exploring these big games and these big names that I'd never really touched on before.
Yes.
Like Zelda, I had played Ocarina of Time on the N64.
Yeah.
And that was my first and only experience with Zelda.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. So I think really there was that as Mario 64. And then before that, it's Game Boy stuff.
Yeah, but you were like heavy PlayStation.
Sega and then PlayStation.
Yeah. So it makes sense, and you'd played some big titles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Zelda and Mario and like Mario 64 and stuff like that. So yeah, I think they could definitely expand on those experiences to like bring something new to the table. Like you said, Bayonetta would be cool to expand on again.
Multiplayer Metroid.
Metroid,
as in
amazing.
Like Prime.
Yeah, Prime.
Even actually, the 2.5 Tiers of shooter would be quite cool.
Yeah, would be cool. I mean, they've done some Prime multiplayer stuff in the past, like the Hunters stuff on DS and all that. I can't remember what they called it. I've got it. Federation Force wasn't very successful, but they've tried it. But they could totally revamp that for like a system that's capable. Yeah, for sure. I would love to play something like that. But there's stuff that they could totally go down an avenue with, like Star Fox. They could reopen.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, and do the like frickin'. I know I always bang on about it, but the adventures style. Because I loved that.
Yeah.
I know it was so random because it wasn't even meant to be a Star Fox game. But
was it not?
No, it was meant to be Dinosaur Planet. And then at the last minute they went, no, let's turn it into a Star Fox game.
Let's lean on Star Fox.
So that's why it's really random. But it's fantastic. Yeah. And that's that was a GameCube game,
Wow.
So we're talking a long time ago, 20 years ago. And that game, or Star Fox Assault, anything like that, and not even remakes, they could just do a whole new entry in that kind of vein.
I think you go back to the original Star Fox games, and although they're a lot easier than I remember them being, because remember we completed one in it was like an hour,
a couple of hours or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
I remember them being solidly hard, and it really wasn't.
Yes.
But that style of game, in my mind, it tells me how good it was that those characters haven't died as icons, even though it's been decades since we've seen anything, and anything worthy of them, even longer.
Yeah. I mean, I never played the Star Fox game on Wii U. I've got it, but I never played it. I can't remember what Assault something. GX or no, I'm just mixing F-Zero and Star Fox.
Literally just making stuff up now.
Star Fox, Mario GX,
Oh, really? Yeah, Ocarina of Star Fox.
Yeah, Ocarina of Samus,
Tears of the Fox.
Tears of the Fox. Tears of the Witch,
Yeah, all of those things.
But, there's all these big ones. Definitely need an F-Zero game. They need to pull that back. Can you imagine a Gravity Racer?
Yes.
On the new Switch, if it's a decent resolution, high FPS, it'd be incredible.
If they can combine the madness of F-Zero with the coolness of Wipeout.
Yeah, that's GX though. That is literally GX.
Yeah, okay, I'm there for it.
That's all I want is a
There
port.
is a gaping hole in the market for an awesome Gravity Racer right now.
Exactly. And GX needs a reverb. All they need to do is just redo it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Upscale it or whatever, just make it modern. Everything else doesn't need to be touched. So I'm pretty sure that the people behind F-Zero said, we're not going to make another one because we feel like we can't do anything new. They said GX was the best they could ever do, and they just went, bye.
Then port it.
Yeah, exactly. Bring it back.
Yeah, let's play it.
It's only been 20 years.
I long for I long for a new Wipeout.
Yes.
Like, long for it.
Yeah.
I know we're talking PlayStation. We kind of jumped over a little bit.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're on the F-Zero train. It works.
Exactly that. There's such a hole in it, in the market, and I think that actually it feels more in line with where Nintendo's at right now, as opposed to where PlayStation's at right now.
Yeah,
its place.
True. Yeah.
And in my head, that place is fun. In like capital letters, like fun. That's Nintendo.
Yeah, because it has that arcade vibe. It's not like PlayStation, like going down the Gran Turismo thing. It's too serious and like, too precise in terms of like too realistic.
Yes.
Whereas Gravity Races are very arcade and fun.
Yeah.
It's like Mario with rockets up their ass,
It's exactly that. Yeah.
And the closest thing that I've had having fun to is freaking Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Yeah, totally.
It's so similar in vibe.
Very.
Like it's not as fast, but it's still quick. And that's the amount of fun I have from playing Hot Wheels, and it's addictive. Like Gran Turismo stuff, I like playing it like just for a go around a track once, and then I'll turn it off. I can't sit there all day and just slam it.
Yeah,
I can with
Gran Turismo and Forza, Motorsport and Horizon on Xbox.
Yes,
or, Game Pass. I love them. I do love racing games. I liked the Formula One games for a long time as well, but the level of dedication you need to get good is savagely hard, and the learning curve, it's not a fun learning curve.
That's it. Yeah, it's too serious.
Too serious the whole way.
Yes.
And then you're really good.
But
then you're frustrated when you fail.
Yeah.
But with like the Gravity Races, the learning curve is still hard. It's still hard to get good.
They're difficult. Yeah.
But it's fun the whole time.
Yes.
Hot Wheels is actually, I'm so glad you brought it up. I know that that's again cross-platform.
Yes.
But it felt so made for the Switch.
Yes. Yeah. So that's
playing it handheld. I played it a lot on the Asus ROG Ally X. Actually.
Yes. It was so good, isn't it?
Love it on there.
So good. Yeah.
But yeah, again, it wasn't as difficult as like F-Zero or Wipeout.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's quite a lot easier.
But it's that kind of level of fun.
It's fun the whole time.
Where I could just play it all day. Like Hot Wheels, I could literally, if I had a day off and did nothing, I could easily just sit on that game
I've played whole
all
evenings
day.
of Hot Wheels 2, like just smashing it.
I've been the same, like doing time trials or like whatever. Like I could just sit there all day, and that's the same with Gravity Races. Like once I get hooked into it, like I'm just staring down the track all day. I'm like, whoa, and that's hard for me to be gripped that long.
There was someone about a year ago that put Wipeout into a browser.
Oh, you sent it to me, and I tried it.
It was like, so I was playing keyboard and mouse.
Yes.
It was keyboard and number pad.
Yeah, but they didn't give you the controls.
No.
So you just have to figure them out.
It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like WASDing. Wipeout.
Yeah. It was so weird. Yeah, you sent me the full game.
Yeah.
Like just on this.
Just in browser mode.
Yeah.
But it was still amazing.
It was great, yeah.
Still amazing.
Yeah, I did like one lap and then went, the controls suck, and then
I did whole races.
Did you?
I got so sucked in. I was like, oh man, I loved this game.
Oh, I need sticks on that kind of thing.
I can't remember who it was that did it, but it was 2 fingers up to PlayStation for not releasing the game, for not releasing the IP for other people, for it to be published again. Yeah. So like, until you do, I'm going to publish it for everyone on the browser.
I did enjoy it.
Which is rolling the dice slightly.
Yeah, a little bit, isn't it?
I mean, you wouldn't try it with anything Nintendo for certain.
No way. No. They'll come with you with pitchforks.
What was the story with Nintendo and Palworld developers? What were they called? Pocket Pair. Thank you.
Yeah. So there's been recent development that they're being sued for something like only $66,000, which seems incredibly low.
They've definitely made more than that.
Yeah, but then along with damages for like prior time, like since the release of it, so that will probably rack up to more.
Yeah.
But one of it's just come out, I think today. I was just skimming my phone and I saw it, so I don't know the ins and outs. But as we said before, we thought it wouldn't be a copyright claim, but a patent
something to do with a mechanic of the game in some way.
Which obviously will be the Pokeball. And that seems to be, apparently it's been confirmed that is what they're chasing. But there's three in total routes they're trying to sue them for, but one of them is this mechanic.
I wonder if they're going to fight it, because I would. Is it worth it if it's as low as that? that 60, 100,000, whatever it is,
It's going to be more in it.
it's going to be a lot more
yeah,
because
it's gonna be
they've
millions.
sold big. Palworld.
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass. I mean, I don't know how much you get as a publisher from Game Pass.
Yeah, from Microsoft. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's going to be an amount.
But
It's
it's
going
on
to be
PlayStation
significant.
now, isn't it? So
It is, apart from in Japan.
Yes, because of Nintendo. Nintendo went, no!
Every country apart from Japan, weirdly.
Yeah, yes.
Nintendo
were at the border. Like,
stop!
that's not coming in here.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, would you bother fighting it or would you just pay it?
No one fights Nintendo.
I don't think you do.
They'll come to your house. They'll have you.
But the trying to patent the Pokeball thing is
it's weird, isn't it?
It's weird because it's not real.
Yeah. It's odd,
I always
isn't
thought
it?
painting was like, oh, I've invented a new screw thing,
Yeah.
and so I'm going to paint some.
I
of that.
suppose it's no different. isn't
Inside
it?
game. It's weird.
Yeah.
And what? So what they're trying to say is that the mechanic of throwing an object and capturing.
Something, yeah.
What about Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
They got the trap. They throw it down. They catch the
It's
ghost.
true. Maybe they borrowed that off, like, you know.
Whoever owns that, is
Yeah.
it Warner probably?
Maybe Warner went to Pokemon before Pokemon was a thing. Said, do you mind us using your...
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited. Switch 2. I didn't intend for us just to chat about the Switch 2,
No,
but
me either,
it's
but
ended up being like
yes,
that.
I
and
like
that's
it.
Good.
And now you've brought up Pokemon, I'm excited to see a Pokemon game that doesn't suffer from 10 FPS.
Oh, God,
It
yes.
doesn't suffer from everything popping in immediately, like within a 5-foot radius. And that doesn't suffer from the fact there's like 3 Pokemon around it because it can't load them.
Yeah, so Z&A, is it set in the Arceus kind of... Is it a prequel like Arceus
it's
was?
Legends, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pokemon Legends ZA.
Does that mean it's going to be a similar style to Arceus as well? Because my Pokemon experience is really limited.
Yes.
But I really loved how Arceus looked.
Arceus, everyone hates it. It's one of my favourite Pokemon games.
I
love it.
But my experience, I don't have that hang up of like, oh no, I love Pokemon to be like this.
Yeah.
I was like, this actually is cool.
It's brilliant.
Compared to the other Pokemon games I've seen, I like the look of this more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I liked how it was like a prequel that everyone's scared of Pokemon, didn't really know what they were. And you're going out to kind of collect them and create a database. And it was there was no real fighting. There was some battles, but not real. Like, it was more about collecting and fighting the other Pokemon rather than people.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I just loved building that database and just grinding. It was like so hardcore, like Asian game. Just stand there and just grind
Proper
through stats.
RPG.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But
Let's
I really
level up.
liked it. I really enjoyed that. Like, like you were saying, the art style and everything, it being set in like old school Japan and stuff. I think it was brilliant. I don't remember, because I haven't re-looked at the ZA stuff since they announced it.
I don't think there's been any more stuff about it.
I just know it's set in a city this time, so it's going to be futuristic or present day, I think. And I kind of... Was it actually a Legends game?
Yes, I'm sure it was Legends, because there was the whole
just
thing
Pokemon
of like,
ZA?
is it going to follow on from Arceus?
I don't know. I'm confused, so I can't answer that right now. I'm going to have to re-look at it, because I don't know if it is actually a Legends or if it is just Pokemon ZA. It would make sense that it would be a Legends one.
Yeah.
Rather than... It's not going to be a mainline Pokemon. So to me, it makes sense that it would be a ZA. Sorry,
I know
a Legends.
Yeah. We all followed you. It's all right. Don't worry.
But the whole game is set inside the city. You don't
There's no
leave
world
the city.
outside.
No,
it's going to be big.
It's going to be a massive city. Yeah, exactly. And that's why when we very first saw that, I went Switch 2.
Yeah, that was exactly what we said.
Yeah, because it's just from the CGI trailer, it was like, this is going to be too much going on.
Too
I mean,
much,
you look at any Pokemon game on the Switch, as soon as you enter a city, it's like, like the thing just grinds to a halt, you know, and everyone just stands still. Like, everything stops loading. Like, your Switch starts setting on fire. Like, you know, so that's going to be the case if the whole game's set in a city.
Yeah,
it's going to need some horsepower behind it.
It really is. Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be a Switch 2 like straddled release, if not only on Switch 2.
And I think there's a few of these games that have been announced as coming out next year that are Switch 2 and will be only Switch 2.
Yeah, I think so.
And I know that they'd already announced Metroid Prime 4 as Switch, but I don't think it is.
No, well, the Switch logo can straddle all the Switch systems, so maybe they just swap it out later. say only on Switch 2.
And that leads me to believe as well that it will be called Switch something.
Yeah, I want it to be the Super Nintendo Switch.
I'd love it to be that.
SNS.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo Switch would be amazing. It's not going to be. It's going.
Nah.
I'm almost certain now it's going to be
the NNS.
The new, the no nut Nintendo.
The triple N. We've killed him.
Yeah, I'm always certain it's going to be the new Nintendo Switch.
Oh, don't.
And I know that sucks.
With the asterisks is around the new, which is what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't.
But I just want to know, final thought to round off.
Yes.
What is the hidden gimmick that we're not expecting?
Smell-o-vision.
I'd actually like that.
Smell Pokemon farts.
Yeah, I'd send you messages all the time.
Oh, you can send them now, can you?
Yeah.
It reads them and then it creates the same fragrance. Yeah.
It puffs out of your like Joy-Con.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh!
Just starts leaking at night. Oh no, not the Switch again.
Boom, boom. What's that? New message from AJ.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
Sound, no sound, just.
I don't know, it could make a sound. It's a me. I don't know what the gimmick will be. There was some third-party manufacturer that leaked out saying we've been told by Nintendo that all controllers must have gyro.
Okay.
So to me,
that's not a surprise.
Motion controls could be back in a bigger form.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Switch motion controls suck because it's based off gyro. You know, it's not the same as an infrared Wii remote and nunchuck, which was so much better because you had the light bar.
Super responsive.
Yes. And it always knew where you were pointing.
Yeah. With
the silly Switch Joy-Con gyro, it never knows what way's up. So you have to recenter it constantly and it sucks. It's just rubbish.
Those games that relied on it, like the sports games and stuff, it just do my head in.
House of the Dead is unplayable. I think I did a whole video about that.
You did,
a long time ago. But
constantly just wrong.
It just wanders off. You have to reset it all the time. So it seems like there's a big emphasis on gyro, but if that plays in with another point or something, I don't know. What do you think?
What I think about the gyro?
Yeah,
I fully believe VR.
Yeah, do you reckon? That's where my head was going just
then.
Nintendo
VR.
Yeah, what Labo? Yeah, cardboard box.
Maybe not Labo. No,
oh.
but I mean, because you could do that now.
Yeah,
but I think that they will release a VR headset,
an actual headset, that plugs into it.
Yes. And you'll use the Joy-Cons as your controllers for it.
Do you reckon, because obviously we've got Nintendo Switch Online and we've got currently got NES, SNES, Game Boy and all that, and we were expecting to see GameCube.
We were, or maybe even Wii as well.
Yeah, potentially Wii. That would be wicked if they actually sold a light bar again, so that you could play real Wii games, because if they release Wii with the frickin' gyro controls right now,
it'll be a train crash.
Yeah.
Or Wii U then maybe. Maybe they'll skip the Wii.
That's where I'm going with though. Wii U, now you're into 2 screens.
Oh.
Will we see DS? Now that then leads, does it have some way of playing the tablet
as a second screen?
As a second screen, yeah. Like the Wii U. Exactly the Wii U, but not the Wii U.
It depends how the connections work. Are they going to change that proprietary system? They're going to make a proprietary system rather than just USB-C to a HDMI dongle.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Because in order for it to connect to the TV, it would have to be docked.
Yeah.
So that would be really hard to do.
Does the dock have a screen on the front of it?
Yeah, it's possible.
Or do they sell you a tablet-like system separately? Like a Wii U gamepad?
I don't know. I think that's too technical for Nintendo.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Well, they already did the Wii U gamepad.
As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, that was a stupid thing to say. It was the Wii U.
They've already done it. They've reused the old Wii U pads.
Maybe they sell the Wii U with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Ooh. You've got the N64 controller.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we might have a GameCube controller and the Wii nunchucks.
I think
maybe we get
away from Fantasyland. I think GameCube is nailed on.
Yes. Yeah.
and a Wavebird, wireless Wavebird for the new Switch.
But at some point, they've got to. If they keep doing this, they're going to have a way around dual screening.
Yeah.
Unless they just do a split screen 16:9 image on the TV. Yeah. So you don't have any second screen.
When you think about how they've implemented 4:3 on the Switch Online, it's windowed, isn't it? Yes. Basically, and they've got like a background. Yeah. I think it'll just be that split screen on the screen.
I'd be fine with that if it's side by side, like so. A 4:3 on the left, 4:3 on the right.
Yeah.
So that on a 16:9 screen, you just got two windows and you could switch which way around it loads. Because there's amazing games on the DS and the 3DS. And obviously there's still Wii U games, but I suppose those don't really matter because most of them have been ported.
A lot of them have, But all the big hitters have them.
But I definitely want to see GameCube on there.
Yeah. And I really want to see a Wavebird Switch controller.
Yeah. And I want to see Wii U back. Wii. Because there's so many good fun games on there. We need those, like the nunchucks and stuff.
Yeah, I think if they're going to come back, it will be with the gyro controls. I can't imagine them doing a light bar.
Why not? It would be like a $5 accessory. You just plug it into USB because it doesn't do anything.
No,
it's literally for the controller to know where it's pointing.
Unless they do it as like they've done with the Switch Online other controllers, then. As in like the N64 controller and the NES.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
so they sell it as a kit.
Yeah.
That's $50.
Exactly what I'm thinking. Yes, absolutely.
Maybe, but I'm just going to say it to round off. Don't be surprised if we see VR.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the only way I think not is because of the price. Because if they sell a VR headset,
it's going to be the same price as the Switch.
It will be that price again.
Yep.
And fair enough if they do that, then cool.
Hello, PlayStation.
Yes, but exactly. But Nintendo have always been the more affordable route.
They have. Yeah.
This system's already going to be the most expensive.
For sure.
I reckon it'll be like $450.
$450. So where's the price point at which you say out? And not as Andy 128KB, as Andy just the consumer.
Probably $450.
Yeah, if it was $499, would you be like, for a Nintendo?
Yeah, well, it depends. It depends how good it looks. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we see all these videos,
$550,
I'd say that's probably too much. You know, for a Nintendo thing. But we don't know. We might see the videos and it might be like crapping all over the Xbox and PlayStation.
Launching with Metroid Prime 4.
Actually, can do ray tracing. You know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then they might throw $799 up there.
Imagine it.
Well, $799 with a VR headset, maybe.
That's actually quite a good deal.
Yeah, there you go.
Not that I particularly like VR, but I imagine Nintendo doing a really good job of it.
Nintendo would be amazing. Can you imagine Mario VR? Like an actual dedicated one where you're like in there.
No, maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of the VR stuff so far has tried to lean on the like realism.
Yes.
And there's been very little on what Nintendo do really well with their lounge games, the motion control games, the light bar games and stuff. There's been very little leaning on that side.
Can you imagine like Mario Tennis? Something so simple.
Multiplayer
but
VR.
That would be so
like
good.
2-player tennis.
Or just Switch Sports in VR. Like bowling and
Mario
stuff.
Party.
Yes, Mario Party would be so good. But you'd need like a headset each.
Yeah,
so
why not?
You're all in it. But maybe
could connect up to 4 headsets.
Yeah. For you and your rich friends.
Your Switch just sat there cooking.
Burning. On fire, but you don't realise because you've got the VR headset on. Cool, this is really realistic. I can smell the fire.
That'd be like the Wario game.
Yes.
What's cooking?
Oh my God, can you imagine WarioWare?
Yes.
VR. I want Nintendo to do VR now. Because they would win at VR.
Yes.
Every other VR has kind of been a bit like me. Do you know what I mean?
But that's what I mean, because they've tried to be too console about it. And like tried to make these hyper-realistic or hyper-action.
We need really do the stupid Japanese stuff that Nintendo do.
Because they win at those interactive experiences every time.
That could be the next way that they're, fun.
Fully believe that.
Because they're all about the fun.
Yes.
And they could make some seriously fun VR games. Yeah. They really could. It all comes down to price.
Not at launch, but I think it's coming.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the VR headset could be cheap if it's tethered to the Switch.
It's just a display out then, isn't it?
Just a display. You've already got the Joy-Cons, which could be your freaking
your
controllers. Then maybe they make an affordable VR, £100.
Yeah,
$100 for a VR attachment, and it's literally just the goggles, and it doesn't do anything. It's just a display. that attaches in. That would make it viable for people to actually have like parties and fun with it.
Multiplayer version would be amazing.
It would be.
That'd be so much
Can you
fun.
imagine F-Zero? Imagine if every game was VR compatible that launched on the Switch 2. You just went into the menu and went click.
I think we're really asking too much of Nintendo right now.
Nintendo, do it. Yes. I want F-Zero
Yes.
VR, and I need to get like a wind blur.
You want
So
Metroid Prime Remaster VR.
yes, that too.
That would be cool though, because you are in her helmet the whole time.
And you could see her like stats of your eyes and stuff. Like feel like you're actually
the
there.
whole game is first person. That
And the
makes
same
loads of
with
sense.
F-Zero, but they would need a wind blower so that when it's like so when you start going, it's like or it just like blows air into your eyes, so
your eyes are watering.
Like,
That would be amazing.
okay, I could keep going.
And what happens is they hire in someone who like comes into your land, probably on a cloud, Mario style. And when you're getting knocked off the track, they hit you with a pillow.
That's where the smell-o-vision comes in, because when you go too fast and you need to change your pants.
Right, we need to end this. Madness has happened. I'd love to know what you guys think about the Switch 2, the recent news, what you're excited to see, just generally, are you hyped for it, or could you not care less? Let us know in the comments down below. Whilst you're down and digging around, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're in podcast land, please do rate the show, because we love your ears and we love you being here. What else should they do, Andy?
They should.
I was going
to say the wash thing, but I always say it wrong, and I don't want to do that.
Wipe, wash, and rate.
That's it. Yeah,
very difficult to say.
Yes, it's very difficult to say when I can't speak, and a bit of your that.
Yes.
Well. So they should also become members. Yes, where they can talk to us in our lovely Discord with our lovely members as well.
Yes, and you get to see these videos early sometimes.
Sometimes
when we remember. Sometimes.
Asterisks. That's like the small print there.
None of this stuff is promised. And before you go, consider watching another video from us here at 128KB. We're a lovely bunch, and we do love you being here.
Yes.
They are smashed between our faces, and they are both worth your time.
Oh, yes.
So until the next time.
Bye.